Kia ora, and welcome to the Auckland chapter of Beta Alpha Psi. My name is Chris Escandor, and we're proud to share our Inclusive Leadership Development Program, a homegrown initiative designed not just to grow inclusive leaders, but to formally recognize them.
Our ILDP encapsulates what we believe shapes inclusive leadership: inclusive recruitment, relative education, and meaningful engagement. Through these three pillars, we've set out to create a chapter culture where inclusion is lived at every level, from first year members to alumni mentors to outreach initiatives and professional panels.
To bring our inclusive leadership development program to life, we structured it into three practical phases. First, training and workshops to build leadership skills and reinforce engagement. Second, mentoring and networking to support ongoing education and growth. And third, real-world application to apply inclusive leadership in outreach and recruitment. Each phase ties back to one of our core pillars, and as members progress through them, they work towards earning the Inclusive Leadership Microcredential, a formal recognition of the journey they've taken to lead with inclusivity.
From the start, we defined how success would be measured, not just in ideas, but with data. We focused on four key areas. Firstly, with our micro-credential, we wanted to get at least 20 members earning it by the end of the year. Secondly, we wanted to track participation rates across our key events and compare them to 2024. Thirdly, with our alumni mentoring program, we wanted to measure growth in the alumni to student peerings, which in 2024 only had 9 peers. And fourthly, in 2024, we had 10 members sign up to become Savvy facilitators. We want more.
Phase 1 of our implementation focused on training and workshops to build the mindset, vocabulary, and confidence needed to lead inclusively.
One of the highlights of this phase is our flagship Leadership Roundtable event, hosted by RSM New Zealand at their new Auckland office. This event pulls together our network of diverse leaders across New Zealand, from Māori and Pacifica founders to first-generation professionals and more, to share their lived experiences of leading inclusivity in their own industries. Rather than a keynote or a panel, this roundtable is built on open dialogue. Members ask questions, challenge assumptions, and hear directly from those who have already led differently. We're not just teaching leadership, but we're exposing our members to inclusive leadership in all forms.
But this phase wasn't just about a brand new innovative event. It changed how we ran the chapter. The first event to truly reflect this was our forensic accounting event with CAANZ and a representative from PwC. We spoke about inclusion and ethics and how to show up in high-stakes environments. 120 out of 139 active members attended. That's 86% of our chapter, making it our most attended event in the Auckland chapter's 16-year history. Since then, we've woven inclusive leadership into everything we do: weekly meetings, guest panels, and even casual social events.
Phase 2 of our ILDP focused on mentoring and networking to create deep, sustained relationships long after an event ends.
Our alumni mentoring program has become one of the most impactful components of the ILDP, and it's nearly at capacity. This year, we paired 37 members with a mentor from our alumni network. The goal wasn't just career advice or a one-off coffee chat, but to forge real relationships built on shared stories, lived experiences, and inclusive leadership in action.
As someone who's now standing on the other side of the chapter as an alumni member, it's incredibly rewarding to now be able to give back and mentor future leaders through the alumni mentoring program. The students in the program are already asking the right questions, they're thinking critically, and they're leading with empathy, which isn't common and it doesn't seem to be accidental. The mentoring program doesn't just prepare students for jobs, it helps them imagine futures that they didn't always think were possible. And that's what BAT did for me, and now I get to do that for someone else.
We've opened up pathways for our first-year students to engage with the chapter while keeping the 3-semester criteria until full membership is clear. And from day one at our chapter, they're connected. Each first year is assigned to a buddy from our executive team to help them find their footing and feel at home. Our new members have had access to all of our events, Savvy, and the Alumni Mentoring Program. We have had over 60 sign-ups over the last 4 weeks, and over 80% of our first years followed up with their buddies, and many are now on track to become full members and earn the Inclusive Leadership Microcredential by the end of Semester 2.
Phase 3 of our ILDP was about outreach and access, focusing on real-world application to take inclusive leadership outside our chapter and into the community.
Through our partnership with Savvy, our members delivered free financial literacy workshops in secondary schools across New Zealand, allowing us to access more than 5,000 high school students. The goal, shared by Savvy and us, aligned with wanting to equip the next generation to make informed, empowered decisions regardless of their background. Our members stepped into classrooms as facilitators, leading activities and serving as relatable role models to high school students. It was leadership in action. And for many students, it was the first time they'd seen someone at their age or their background talking about financial futures and professional goals.
But outreach is only a part of the narrative. For many talented students, membership fees can still be a barrier. That's why we've introduced targeted scholarships to cover membership fees for students from underrepresented backgrounds. This initiative helped us welcome new voices and create meaningful leadership opportunities for students who might have never had the chance.
Coming from a rural town in New Zealand, when I first heard of Beta Alpha Psi, it was an eye-opener to see so many opportunities right at my doorstep. However, I wasn't so sure the club was right for me. But then I was awarded the MYOB scholarship. Not only did it cover the cost of my membership, it also connected me with Shailin Patel, a valuable mentor whom I continue to talk to regularly. His guidance throughout my penultimate year was paramount in helping me build my confidence and my personal brand. This inspired me to become an executive at Beta Alpha Psi to help foster the new incoming wave of students.
These three phases show what inclusive education, engagement, and recruitment can look like. When you meet people where they are, remove the barriers, and give them the tools, they lead and are recognized.
To tie it all together, we have created the Centre of our ILDP, a micro-credential that recognises students who not only participate but actively lead across the three pillars.
To earn our micro-credential, our members must facilitate 2 Savvy financial literacy workshops, attend 2 leadership roundtable events, such as the RSM Roundtable, and engage meaningfully in the alumni mentoring program. What we wanted to capture was a measured, intentional, and experience-based journey, just like inclusive leadership itself.
So far, 30 members are on track to receive the micro-credential at our June initiation. This would have meant meeting our original goal of 20 members 6 months early. Excitingly as well, 6 out of our 7 professional partners have formally recognized the micro-credential.
Engagement is growing across the board. Savvy participation has increased by 150%. Alumni mentoring by 311. Event participation as well has hit an all-time high, with 120 members attending our CAA and Z event, quadruple our usual event engagement.
An unexpected outcome was the scale of engagement. We expected to be pushing members to participate, but instead we found ourselves managing overcapacity. Our alumni mentoring program only has 6 more spots, and it's only been 7 weeks into the academic year. Savvy now also has a waitlist.
We've had to start asking students why they wanted to attend. We've also had to start filtering by majors, the year in their studies, and their past participation. It's a wonderful problem to have, but one that taught us how eager students are to lead when the environment and framework is right.
We set out with metrics, attendance, credentials, participation rates, and those matter. But along the way, we realized that some of the most meaningful outcomes couldn't be measured.
It's in the quiet confidence of a first year who speaks up at their first event.
And the mentee who says, I didn't think this place was for me until now.
One of our most valuable metrics ended up being the success stories we saw firsthand. You can't quantify the moment someone starts to believe they belong in the room, but you can definitely feel it. Our inclusive leadership development program is now a permanent part of how we lead. It's embedded in our calendar, supported by our partners, and shaped by our members. We've built something measurable, inclusive, and lasting.